draw out the roof, which we're gonna make this cool ass design that I invented, and hopefully nobody will steal, because I might make millions off this. But hey, if you steal it and actually happens, I'm happy too, because then the earth will be more green. Anyways, to get this, you guys can see that it's actually closed everywhere. That way no water escapes into the inside the building or such. And what I did was, here, I'll just start a new drawing, like so. And our first aspect is going to be to start drawing from like a front view, not the top view, because we're going to be drawing the actual side view of the, we'll call it a gutter or a half cylinder. So I'm going to go to left view, or you can do a front view. Just do a front view. So do a front view. What you need to do next is front view. What you need to do with that is front view. Okay, so I could do a circle that the diameter is going to be 12 inches. We'll zoom out, and what I need to do is cut that in half. So I'm going to just draw a line from quadrant to quadrant. Cut that in half. I have a circle now. I'm going to rotate 3D, so I got an isometric view. You can use your isometric buttons too. No problem. Zoom out a little bit, and we're gonna extrude these. We're gonna extrude them a little bit longer than 96, which is our size of our actual building, because we want overhangs on both sides. That way, water won't get onto the walls of your building as much. So we're gonna do, instead of 96, we'll do 120. So the 120. And I need to enclose one side, so I'm just going to do that by tracing over this half circle. I actually have that circle on this side because my del object is set at 0, set at 1, so it doesn't delete it. So you can set it at 1, or you guys can just trace this over with your 3-point arc. So 1, 2, 3. And close it from the top with a line. Again, this is only 2D, but this is not hatched, or there's no face, so what you have to do is type in loft, or go to your loft command. You can select that arc with that line, and it's going to hatch it closed, like so. Now if I do a visual conceptual view, you guys can see this better. So you guys can see that there's a hole. It's closed on one side, which is great. That's what I wanted. Now that's going to be my first piece. If I go back to my other drawing, you guys can see that this is that piece. Here I actually have a thickness. We'll get to that a little bit later. But the next step is I want to go through this pipe, which is a copper pipe. I didn't show where it ends. It actually goes probably through the wall into the building to receive hot water into a tank. Oops. Okay. So back to this. And now I did that pipe, the copper pipe, by drawing a smaller circle in the same location of the actual gutter. And I'm gonna put the dimension for diameter. Do 1 inch. You can do it bigger. 1 inch is fine. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extrude this. I'm not gonna extrude it 120. I'm gonna do it a little less. So instead of 120, which is 10 feet, I will do 108. 108, which is 9 feet. I'm going to move this actually down. Like I changed my UCS to be top view, so I can move it down. 12 inches. Make sure my ortho is on. So I have something like this, the gap between. And what I need to do next is draw again an arc, so it gets from one of these cylinders to the next. To do that, I can draw a circle, diameter 12. I'm going to attach this circle to the center of my copper tubing, like so. Then I draw a line between one quadrant and the other. You got to trim this off. Now, this might be an issue, right? That's what, as I thought. It won't let you trim it. It's because you're not in top view and there's reasons. A quick fix would be just to trace over with an arc. So I'm just going to trace it over from point to, where is it? Let's try this again. Point, there we go, to that. So I'm going to delete this, and I have that arc. Now since my del objects is set at 0, I still have that circle. I should have had that circle left. I guess not. That's okay. Just trace it over. Again, you got to change your UCS to do that. That's the key. The key is playing with your UCS to get to your 3D objects you want to make. We'll draw a circle going over here, 1 inch, just trace it over. This I'm going to do extrude. I'm going to extrude with a path. So extrude, P for path. Select this path right here. Now, pretty much I'm done with this major setup of my roof, because I have this, and it's a key factor of drawing the roof I made before. But I need to give this a thickness before I move on. So to do that, I will go to Modify, Solid 3D Operations, Thicken. I'm going to select this part and this part. I'm just going to click Enter. I'm going to give it a thickness of 1/8, so 0.125. Enter, and it should give it a thickness, which it did. Now just gotta make sure that this part, if it did extrude out, you gotta move it back in. So just M for move, and it's in here. I can no, I thickened. I went to Modify 3D Operations, Thicken, and I gave it a thickness of 1/4 inch. Next step would be just to make a copy of this whole base once. And when we do that, oops, I should have done. Then grab both of them. That happens. So I have 2 of these, which is great. But now I can see that there's a gap in between, and that water can get access into. Go all the way down. So I need to close this up. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. One option would be to actually. Do I have an arc? I do have the original. No, I don't. So one option is to make a copy of these 2 gutters at specified distance of like 50 or something. Well, they're not. And then I can explode these, or I can just actually go to Modify and extract edges. That allows me to delete them and still keep the edges, which I need. I'm not going to need these edges, I just need the exterior edge to edge. Close this up, like so. And over here. And now trim the rest of the part. So I have that piece. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can loft it from these lines, or you can do a, I'm just going to make sure it's correct, okay. Loft from this small line to this big line using lines as paths. So loft, select this one, select the top one, enter, and I'm going to use guides. So I'm going to guide it, which didn't work. That's okay. I'm going to try lofting from the other side around. Actually need that. Yep. Let's try this again. Guides. Nope. Alright. Let's try this loft. Let's loft this. Oh, this is not working good for me. Hold on, let me pause it. So there's 2 other options you can do with this one. So either you can put a line in between and loft each arc to this line. You can do it both ways. Or your other option is to go to Draw, Modeling, Surface, Planner, and you type in Over Object, and you select each line, and it should close it up like that. So there's two ways you can do that. Just completely forgot how I did before. I'm just going to make a copy and move it back. Closes it up. I need another one on the other side, but before I do that, I'll give it a thickness here. So I go to Modify, 3D Operations, Thicken, select the object, give it a thickness, the same thickness as before. Looks like it got thickened out, so I'm just going to move it back. And I'm going to make a copy of it exactly 120. Since I knew the size of it, I'm going to rotate around, make sure it's not extending out. Oh, it is. That's okay. Guys, move it back too, and that closes it up. Now I pretty much have this whole establishment complete, because all I have to do next is just copy them over and over and over until I get to the distance I want of the roof. And for the piping, which is going to be cut right through here, which I haven't shown, that's okay, we can do that later. What we're going to do is we need to make a copy of this pipe here, from here pipe to pipe, and we need to reduce it by 12 inches, 6 inches. So I go to Modify, Solid Editing, Extrude Face, select the face, you got -6 inches. I make a copy of this half art pipe, rotate it around, and I place it. Oops, there we go. I place it into position by attaching it to the pipe, like so. And you can just now copy it because you got the main thickness of the inside. So copy, copy, copy until you get to something like this. You would copy one of these enclosures, put on the bottom, put 2 end caps, make sure you get the other end cap on it, and you will have exactly what I have here. Now if you go ahead and move forward, you can also create materials for it, so you can actually show it's chromed out or shiny, and I did that in this prior project, so you guys can see it's actually shiny and it's pointing all at that copper pipe in the middle. The graphics aren't that good, but you guys can get the gist of it, how the light will be all reflected into those pipes, which have also a film of solar panels which creates electricity at the same time. So you're heating your water, you're powering your house, and you're collecting water at the same time. So it's a great idea, but might be expensive, don't know yet. So that's the roof that I created.